Hi, my name is Shan and this is a big birthday book haul. So this is really my July book haul because all these books I bought in July, but if you follow me on Instagram you would know that I had a baby at the end of July, so I haven't had a chance to film it. So my birthday was at the beginning of July and I also treated myself to a ton of books. So I have like 25 books I think to show you. Also, my baby does not like to sleep. People always say the newborn stage is the easiest because they just eat and sleep, but my baby does not like to sleep. And at the moment, he doesn't want to sleep anywhere but in my arms. So I'm doing the whole baby wearing thing at the moment. So that's the only way that I'm getting things done. So if you have any tips for newborns and getting them to sleep, I've literally tried everything. I think it's just he's not a good sleeper, so that's fine. So I'll start with a couple of the books that I was given for my birthday from my boyfriend, my brother and my mum. So first up I have A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, which it's really annoying that it has this major motion picture sticker because I'm scared to take it off. But I have heard amazing things about this book and I've heard that it's really sad, it makes people cry, so I'm kind of scared to read it. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think the illustrations look really nice in this edition. And yeah, I'm not going to say too much about these because most of them are really popular books that you probably already know what they're about. But also I have limited time before my baby wakes up and I've got some housework to do. So there's the first book. Okay, next up is a book that I have already read. A lot of the books that I got, or some of the books, are ones that I'd already read but I didn't have physical copies of. So this one is Saga Volume 2 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. I have already read Volume 2. I think I'm up to Volume 3, but I read an ebook version of this and I would really like the physical copies of the series. It is a sci-fi graphic novel series, which sci-fi isn't my favorite, but this is really good and I'm really excited to continue on. It's basically, yeah, aliens in space and yeah, it's really fun and that's all I have to say about that one. And the next book that I have was given to me by my mum when she was out. She knows how much I love Alice in Wonderland and she saw this graphic novel edition of the book. So I haven't read this yet, but I'm really excited to. The art style looks nice. And yeah, it's just Alice in Wonderland but in graphic novel form. So I think I will probably be reading this month. But yeah, Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorites. So okay, I think I'm moving on to books that I have bought for myself. So first I'm going to do the books that I bought in bookstores. Actually, I think they're all from Big W. So if you're from Australia, I get a lot of my books from Big W because they're really cheap, or they're cheaper than buying them from a bookstore. So these are from Big W and then I'll go into the books that I bought online. Okay, so first up, I am almost done reading this book. It's taken me a while. I actually started it before my baby was born, but didn't get to finish it. But I am really enjoying it, and there's also a book club that is reading this for its August pick, and I'm forgetting which book club. Hold on, give me a second to look it up. Okay, so it is the Unfriendly Black Hotties book club, and I will link all the information about it, but they are reading Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid for August. And I think there's a live show and stuff to go along with it. I'm trying to participate in more book clubs now, but I'm only just starting to get into them, so I don't know the exact details. But if I can finish this, then I will do the live show. But yeah, it's really good so far what I'm reading. Basically, it is about a black babysitter, and she's a babysitter for a white family. And yeah, she's stopped at a supermarket because they think that she's kidnapped this white baby or toddler. But yeah, I'm really excited to get to the end of this book and see how everything all wraps up. But yeah, that's Such a Fun Age. Okay, next is actually a kid's book, but I read this when I was little and I saw that they had this 25th anniversary edition, and that is Tashi. I don't know if other people read this when they were little, but I definitely did. And then this hardcover little edition of the book is really cute. I don't know where the original one that I read is. I think I might have given it to my younger brother. I think I lost a lot of books that I read when I was little because I gave them to my brother and I don't know where they are now. he might still have it, but anyway, I have this edition now, which is really cute, and I can give it to my kids when they are old enough to read it, which is going to be a while, but yeah, let me know if you read Tashi as a kid. Okay, next I bought this one because I put up a post on Instagram asking people to comment their favourite books that they've recently read, and this one was commented by bookish_for_life. I'm hopefully going to try to remember to link all of these things, but I'll put her Instagram down below. And she recommended to read It Sounded Better in My Head by Nina Kenwood, and I believe this is a young adult contemporary. Something about the main character's parents splitting up, and yeah, I guess her life just changing, her friends, her two best friends have fallen in love. Yeah, it sounds like a really fun, quick read. And then I haven't heard a lot about this book, but I saw it when I was in Big W, and that's Foul is Fair by Hannah Capin? I don't know, I should have looked this up first. But I think this is something to do with a rape or an assault or something of these girls who are at a party, and then I think they are getting revenge on the person that raped one of them or assaulted one of them. Again, not 100% sure, but yes, I'm going to read it, and it sounds like it will be an interesting read. Next, I was really excited to see this book in Big W because I saw loads of people talking about it when it first came out, and that is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. And this one, I believe, is about a girl who had a relationship with a school teacher when she was in school. So obviously a very inappropriate relationship, and some other girls I think are coming out and saying that the same thing happened. And she believed at the time that it wasn't inappropriate and that they were in love. Obviously that is not the case, and I think she's coming to realise that it wasn't really like she thought it was, and obviously she was being groomed and it's gross. So I think this is going to be a really hard-hitting story, so obviously there'd be trigger warnings for all of that. I think I'm going to link all of the Goodreads to all these books because my synopsis might not be correct. And then that way you can read trigger warnings and reviews and things for everything that I'm not giving. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this because I saw heaps of people reading it when it first came out, and I think it was getting really good reviews. So, okay, next up, I also saw this a while ago. People were reading The Ark. I think it has a different title and cover in other countries, but this one is The Recovery of Rose Gold by Stephanie Roble. I think it's called Darling Rose Gold in other countries, but I believe that this is kind of loosely based around, is it Gypsy Rose Blanchard? Is that the name of her? But basically it's about this girl who believes that she has been really sick for 18 years of her life, but her mother has actually been lying and faking everything and pretending that her daughter was sick. And I forget what that is called. I'm really bad at this. I really don't know why you're watching. I don't know anything. But yeah, this is different to the Gypsy Rose Blanchard one because the mother goes to prison in this one. I'm reading the synopsis. This isn't spoilers. I haven't actually read it. But yeah, it looks like the mother goes to prison in this version, which doesn't happen in the real life version. Yeah, so I'm excited to read this one because that is a very different storyline to other books that I've read. So okay, I think all the other books that I have were bought online. So those were all the books that I got from Big W, which is my #1 place for buying books because they're cheap. And let's get on to all of the other books. Okay, these first two I got because I was participating in the reading rush, if you saw my TBR video. But the first one is The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum in this cute edition. I think it's called the Pantone Classics. I definitely want to collect the others because they look really cool. But yeah, just The Wizard of Oz. I'm trying to read more classics, and children's classics are obviously slightly easier to read than the adult ones. So I also got The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, obviously a very popular one. I probably don't need to talk about what it's about because this was all the rage in like 2011. When did this come out? 2011, I'm guessing. 2012. I was close. But this is like one of the only John Green books that I haven't read and haven't owned. So I did get some birthday vouchers from stores. You know how for being a member on your birthday you get vouchers for things? So I bought these 3 from the one author, which I have read 2 of them. And these are 3 Alice Oseman books. Yes, I realised that this one doesn't match the paperbacks that they've got. And yes, that does annoy me, but I'll probably buy the matching one as well, and I'm fine with having multiple copies of this book because I really, really love it. But yes, so I have Solitaire, I Was Born for This, and Radio Silence. I've read the bottom 2. I read them on audio though, so I didn't have physical copies. And Alice Oseman just came out with a new book, which I will eventually get and have matching to these paperbacks and Radio Silence, hopefully. He's snoring. But yeah, they only had this version of the book, so it's fine. Again, Alice Oseman is very popular, so I probably don't need to tell you what they are about. But Radio Silence is about a girl who is a big fan of this online podcast, and yeah, finds out that she actually knows the person who runs it, and an adventure happens. I love this book. It's one of my all-time favorites. I'm super excited to have the physical copy. I probably will read it physically now as well because I read it on audio, like I said. I Was Born for This is about a girl who is a big fan of a boy band, and yeah, she goes to one of their shows and runs into one of the boy band members, and yes, an adventure happens. And then Solitaire, I honestly have no idea what it's about. This is the one that I haven't read, but I believe that the characters from Heartstopper, her graphic novel series, are in this, I think. But yeah, I have loved everything Alice Oseman has written. Everything is 5 stars. I think I've given everything 5 stars, yeah. So I'm excited to read this and to get her new book as well. Okay, I think I'll keep going on books that I have already read, since these are in no order. I'm just randomly picking things up, but I'm kind of going in order now. So the next book is Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me, which is a graphic novel. I have read this one, and yeah, I enjoyed it. The art style is really cool. It's like got this pink theme, which I love. Okay, he's repositioned himself. Yeah, the art style has the pink theme, which I really like. It's like my favorite color. And yes, this is about a girl who has a girlfriend that keeps breaking up with her. And yeah, I guess it's just a cute little graphic novel about a toxic relationship and maybe realizing that you don't have to put up with that. So my pile is getting kind of wobbly. It's on top of a change table. And then another book that was recommended on that Instagram post that I was telling you about. And this was recommended by Kaylee from Dog Eat Page. And that's If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha. That's how you say it. This has a stunning cover. I love it. But yeah, I've already read this one. I will probably do a wrap up. I don't know if I will or not, but I read this for Readathon, just in case I don't do a wrap up. But yeah, I loved this. I mean, this isn't a wrap up, but this was really good, and it's basically about these women in Korea and just their lives, really. But yeah, it was super interesting. Have I ever read a book set in Korea? I don't think so. I've read books about Koreans living in another country, but I don't think I've read a book where the characters are actually in Korea. So yeah, it was really interesting. Loved it. The cover is freaking stunning. I am obsessed. That is so beautiful, and I love the color. But yeah, I would recommend this because it was really good. Okay, I think this is the last book from the stack that I have actually read. This one I also was in my Reading Rush TBR, and this is The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. It is like written in verse, and yeah, it's basically about a boy who is, I guess, coming to terms with his identity in terms of race and sexuality, and it was really good. I loved it. Loads of people are talking about this as well, so you've probably heard about it before, but yeah, I'd recommend that too. I'm going to try to go through the rest of this stack pretty quickly because, again, I haven't read them, so while we're talking about things written in verse, I guess I'll kind of go with a theme here. But Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Asbedo. I read the book that wasn't in verse, With the Fire on High, and I loved it. I haven't read The Poet X because I want to listen to it on audio and it's not available in Australia. So yeah, I haven't listened to or read anything from her that is written in verse, but I'm super excited for this one. It's really popular at the moment. Everyone obviously loves this author and loves this book. But it is basically about two girls who lose their dad in a plane crash, I believe. But they didn't know that each other existed, so I guess now they're finding out that they have a half-sister across the other side of the world. And yeah, I'm super excited for this one. I think I'll read this next month as well. My words, man, I can't. Okay, next, this is also in verse, right? This one's a middle grade too. This is Other Words for Home by Jasmine Warger. This is another book that is part of a book club, or the book for a book club. Do I just need to give up? Okay, this is the book pick for the currently reading book club for August. But yes, I think this is middle grade, and it is about a girl who moves from Syria to the US. So yeah, she leaves behind her brother and father in Syria, moves to the US with her mother. Okay, so yeah, super excited for this one as well. Okay, and while we're on book clubs, I have also picked up The Beautiful by Renee Adier. This one is the buddy read for Chloe from Books with Chloe's Patreon book club. Buddy read, what's it called? I don't know. This is for August, so I actually haven't read it yet. But I think that this got some bad reviews when it first came out because everyone thought it was about vampires, but apparently there's not as many vampires as was first thought. So yeah, it's set in 1872 in New Orleans. Is that how you say that? A city ruled by the dead. But yeah, I think it's about someone who finds dead bodies. When I first heard the synopsis, it reminded me of The Diviners for some reason. I think that's what I thought when I first heard about it. And The Diviners is like my favourite series ever, so I'm excited to read this. And hopefully I get to it soon because it is the August pick. And also for Books with Chloe's Patreon buddy read, A Song Below Water by Bethany Seymour was the July pick that I didn't get around to in July because I had a baby. But this is about black mermaids. And yeah, it's really cool because it's like feels pretty contemporary but with a fantasy kind of element. Again, really popular at the moment. Everyone's talking about this. You've probably heard it a million times. The cover for this one is also stunning. Love this. And then because I did join that Patreon for Books with Chloe, I also picked up The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd-Jones, which was a previous month's book pick. I'm just going back and reading the old buddy reads, and I think this is to do with a graveyard and corpses that are coming back to life. I'm not really sure. This is a really popular book, so you probably already know what it is, but if you don't listen to me because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I did buy a lot of contemporary books, so I was excited to throw in some things that weren't contemporary real life stories. Another super popular one at the moment is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. Another beautiful cover. But I think this is a memoir. Yes, it is. About growing up black and queer in America. Loads of people are talking about this. I can't stop looking at the cover. Loads of people are talking about this and giving it a lot of praise, so I'm excited to read it. Next up I have You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, also really popular at the moment, which I believe is about a girl who wants to get a scholarship to her dream university, but the only way to get a scholarship I think is to win prom queen. I'm pretty sure that's what it's about, but yeah, everyone's talking about this at the moment, and apparently I just like to read the really hyped up books, so I'm excited for this one. Also, America's school is so weird. I don't know, yeah, prom queen isn't a thing in Australia. At least not where I went to school, so I don't know. That's weird that you get a scholarship for being prom queen. I don't know, that's weird to me. Okay, the last book is an anthology that I have been wanting to read since it came out, but this is Black Enough, which is edited by E.B. Zaboy, has heaps of different authors in it. Stories of being young and black in America. And yeah, this has heaps of authors that I have wanted to read from, but I don't have their books as of yet, so I'm really excited to read this and hopefully find some authors that might become new favourites that I can pick up more books from. But yeah, I haven't read from a lot of these authors. I'm just scanning through them again. This has got a really cool cover too. I like this. And the back has another illustration that's really cute. Love it. Oh, and this will look good on my rainbow shelves. I don't have that many green books that are bright. Okay, that is all of the books that I bought and acquired in the month of July. Let me know if you've read any and which you think I should pick up first. I haven't bought any books in August, so I slowed down a bit after this giant month of books. But I have a feeling that September I'll be buying books again maybe, even though I have so many to read and I've hardly read any. But yes, thank you for watching if you've made it to the end. Like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you would like to see more. Hopefully I'll be uploading a little bit more consistently now. Probably going to have to be wearing my baby most of the time because he doesn't like to let me do things. And yeah, I will see you in my next video.